Jada Pinkett Smith, The Devaluation of Will Smith, Part 3. Hello and welcome back to the excellent dissection and analysis of the interaction between Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith that took place on the Red Table Talk, which was there for the purposes of confronting her with regard to allegations of infidelity. I have been analysing her behaviour and also his responses to enable you to understand more about the narcissistic dynamic. Now, let us return to the footage and learn even more.
We come into the red table. So I'm in the Jada position right now. So,
Okay.
You during that time launched into an interaction with August. What do you feel like you were looking for?
I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good.
Right.
And it was really a joy to just help heal somebody.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with my codependency, which is another thing that I had to learn to break in this cycle. Just that idea of needing to fix and being drawn to people that need help, whether it's your health or whether it's your addictions. There's something about that childhood trauma that feels as though it can be fixed through fixing people versus fixing me.
Yeah.
And I think that that whole process with Og really showed me that and taught me that. And I'm really grateful for that.
Pausing the footage, originally timed at 6 minutes and 40 seconds, at the beginning of this particular segment, Will Smith states, "So, we come to the red table, and I'm in the Jada position right now." He says this with a smile. He says it in a light-hearted fashion. It's her territory, and he's therefore coming along and putting himself in that position. If you look at the facial expression of Jada Pinkett Smith, the disdain that flows from her because her narcissism has interpreted Will Smith's remark as a threat to her underlying need for control, and therefore has caused her irritation, the feeling, and the thought that he's taking the piss, in order to cause her to respond in a particular way to nullify this perceived threat to control. "Okay," she remarks in a somewhat dismissive manner. Notice that her gaze shows no spark of humour, no light, no warmth. Will Smith continues, stating, "During that time, you launched into an interaction with August. What do you feel like? What do you feel like you were looking for?" Will Smith, of course, is trying to seek some answers to understand what caused his wife to go off and have a sexual relationship with someone many years younger, whilst still being married to Will Smith. Again, contrast their countenances. As he's asking this question, she looks haughty, aloof, as if she's thinking to herself, "You dare to question me, the Grand Duchess? Who do you think you are?" And notice as well that when she's talking and Will Smith listens and he's going, when he looks at her, his expression is generally that of trying to understand but not understanding. Almost like a little boy that's lost. He looks pained, hurt, confused. He still doesn't understand what's gone on. And he doesn't really seem to understand what she's saying to him. And it's no wonder, because a lot of the time, he's just being dealt word salad. But notice when she listens to him, and she's going, her eyes are trained on him, with venom and suspicion. His gaze reflects his emotional empathy. Hers reflects that coldness, whereby that need for control, that in that interaction, her narcissism isn't giving her the appearance of even caring. that it's showing that icy contempt that she has. Jada Pinkett Smith offers her answer and states, "I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good." This exhibits a sense of entitlement, that she's belittling Will Smith. And it might even be a revision of history. I'm sure that Will Smith sat there thinking, I do everything that I possibly can for you. Yes, there are times where you've had to sacrifice things whilst I've been dealing with my film projects. But you have access to huge amounts of money, fame. You have probably a staff that runs around doing everything for you. You can go and buy whatever you want. You're married to one of the most bankable movie stars on the planet. We can go where we like. We can purchase what we want. We can dine wherever we want. People are throwing things at us. People want to be near us. And you don't feel good. Okay. Now, of course, she will have convinced him, no doubt through her repeated whinings and protestations, that notwithstanding all of these trappings and access and things which many other people would say, well, I might not necessarily want completely what you've got, but it doesn't sound like the worst of lives to have, that she's convinced him that something inside is wrong, that there is something rotten in the state of Jada, but it's his fault. And therefore, there may well be a revision of history in terms of her not actually feeling that bad, but makes it seem as if everything's been wrong for some time. And those of you who have been ensnared by narcissists will note that narcissists, we invariably use terms such as always and never. I've never felt good around you, although that would contrast with your understanding of events, or you're always putting me down, even where you've never done it, or perhaps you've only done it once towards the narcissist. The narcissist talks in such absolutes because of the black and white thinking that exists. She's saying to him, you didn't make me feel good, Will Smith. You failed me. You're the one that's at fault. You caused this. You are the one who is to blame. She then continues by stating, and it was really a joy just to help heal someone. There we go again with the healing. And of course, she helps heal somebody by burning some calories on his dick, of course. That's the way that you go about causing the healing. This exhibits false empathy, a holier-than-thou attitude. It gets even better, as she then states, I think that it has a lot to do with my codependency. Nope. But this is blame shifting. It's not me, it's my codependency. This is similar to the bleating of the mid-range narcissist that says, I can't help it, I'm a borderline. As I've explained elsewhere, not all borderlines are narcissists. There are those who suffer from post-traumatic distress disorder and have been misdiagnosed. But if you'd like to listen to my video, The Borderline, I provide you with a compelling case that explains that many borderlines are actually unaware mid-range narcissists. And by blaming it on the borderline, they're engaging in a form of blame shifting. This is what Jada Pinkett Smith is also doing here. It wasn't me. I did not choose to go and suck another man's dick while I was married to you. I didn't choose to jump on him and bounce up and down on him whilst married to you. My codependency led me to do it. That's what caused me to have this affair. I mean, entanglement. It's blame shifting. It's triangulation with a condition, and it's a pity play also. She then continues with, which is another thing I had to break in the cycle. The idea of getting to fix and being drawn to people who need help. Her narcissism makes her believe that she's a healer, and doubtless some clown has told her that she has codependency and has failed to identify that she's a narcissist. And therefore her narcissism thinks, ooh, goody gumdrops. I've been told, our host has been told that she is codependent. We'll take that cloak of codependency and wear it and use it to wrap it round Will Smith's head so he can't see what's going on. She continues with this by stating, whether it's your health or your addictions, there's something about that childhood trauma that feels like it can be fixed through fixing people. Again, blame shifting, and doubtless this is character trait acquisition, as somebody has told her this, or she's heard people talking about this elsewhere, and her narcissism thinks, that sounds good, we'll commandeer that and utilize it to explain our poor behavior. She then goes on to say, as against, or versus, fixing me. And I think that whole process with org really showed me that and taught me that, and I'm really grateful for that lesson. Again, this is blame shifting. What she's basically saying is, go and have an affair, and you can reject accountability for your behaviour by attributing it to your need to heal people by virtue of your codependency. So you can see the scene. Where the hell have you been? Why have you been out shagging whores? It's all about the healing process. By banging the fuck out of some big-titted wench down at the Happy Slapper Emporium, I'm actually healing myself. Oh, right, that's okay then. Would you like to carry on your healing process while I wrap my lips around your dick? It's preposterous, but this is the kind of nonsense that she spews out as the type of narcissist that she is. It of course begs this question. Did you have to mount this young man's penis in order to help him heal? Why did you not just do that, help him, by offering support and other things, without having to do the nasty getting on the train to Poundville or doing the bedroom rodeo? The fact is, it's nothing to do with healing, and it's nothing to do with codependency. It was about devaluing Will Smith because he was painted black and was in sustained devaluation, a sense of entitlement to go and have sexual relationships with somebody else even though she was married, dressing it up as permissible on the basis that they were definitely not together, labelling it an entanglement, and saying that I learnt so much about myself by being actually able to go and have this affair. This demonstrates a rampant lack of accountability, a sense of entitlement, an absence of emotional empathy for both Will Smith and the young man with whom she had an entanglement. She does as she pleases, and then just passes it off as, this is the process of helping him heal and me dealing with my need to help heal other people. I just can't help being such a martyr. It's errant nonsense, but her narcissism runs with it, and she says it with a completely straight face, because her narcissism makes her believe it. Indeed, I suspect that some therapist, not knowing what she is, has told her this is what's going on, and then she regurgitates this. Or perhaps she's been delving into some self-help books and thinks, aha, yes, that's precisely what I've been doing. And the reason that I went off and had an affair was nothing to do with me just getting my jollies. And of course, she's completely unaware as to what was really driving her behaviour, her narcissism. She believes that it's down to this process of wanting to help heal others and her codependency. And it's not.
I feel like that husband, like, I'm with you at the press conference. I'm that husband, now I got to be with you at the press conference while you, like, tell the world about your transgressions. Like, I love my baby. I'm gonna stand by my baby no matter what.
Well, you know, I definitely understand why it would look that way or feel that way, but I actually don't look at it as a transgression at all. Through that particular journey, I learned so much about myself and was able to really confront a lot of emotional immaturity, emotional insecurity, and I was really able to do some really deep healing.
We halt the footage now at the original time of 7 minutes and 26 seconds. At the start of this particular segment, Will Smith states, I feel like that husband, like I'm with you at the press conference. When he says this, look at Will Smith's face. He isn't telling a joke. He's opening up about how he actually feels that he's being wheeled out for the sake of appearance. And her lack of emotional empathy causes her to believe that he's cracking a joke, and she responds by cackling at him, mocking him in effect, devaluing him further. Will Smith continues, now I feel like I got to be at the press conference while you get to tell the world about your transgressions. Again, he's not laughing. He's saying how pained he is because he feels like you're able to talk about how you've done all of these things and I just have to sit there and be supportive that you're wheeling me out as a show, a little bit similar to whenever a member of Parliament in the United Kingdom gets caught with his pants down, He then holds a press conference outside the gate of the family home somewhere in Surrey with trophy wife and two of the children stood there, whilst he stands there issuing his false mea culpa, wheeling them out for the purposes of sake of appearances to explain how it was that he deeply regrets the fact that he was balls deep in some hooker 17 times in 1 month. Will Smith is in pain here, and he's expressing the fact that he basically feels like he's being wheeled out to ease her conscience, although he doesn't realise that she doesn't have one. And she continues to laugh, thinking all of this is entirely hilarious. At this point, Will Smith, in order to protect himself, then shifts humour, and in a slightly mock voice states, "I love my baby, I'm going to stand by my baby no matter what." He's seen her reaction, and there's no emotional empathy flowing from her towards him, and in order to protect himself, he shifts to humour at that juncture, and issues a laugh himself. Note, all of this is about how she sees it, and how she feels. There's nothing about how he feels, having been cuckolded. There's no inquiry from her as to, how did that make you feel, Will? It's all about, I did this because, I felt this because. It's the Jada Pinkett Smith show. She continues by stating, I definitely understand how it might look that way or feel that way. An attempt at cognitive empathy, of course. I do not look at it as a transgression at all. So with him suggesting there was a transgression, her narcissism perceives that as a threat to control, and therefore it must nullify that threat to control through denial, invalidation. What he says threatens the control, and she nullifies it with that response. When she comes back with that remark, look at Will Smith. Look at his eyes. See the pain and hurt. As she just dismissively says, I haven't transgressed at all. She will just not accept accountability for her behaviour because her narcissism will not let her do so. Arrogance, haughty behaviours. She then continues, through that particular journey, these types of narcissists love the journey word, I learned so much about myself, and I was able to confront a lot of emotional immaturity and insecurity, and was really able to do some really deep healing. No, you weren't. But your narcissism has conned you into believing that's the case, probably aided and abetted by somebody rubbing some crystals over your nipples and then burning some sage across your head or such like. Deluded, deflection, blame shifting, rejection of accountability. Although she suggests that she's accountable because she says that she recognises emotional immaturity and insecurity and she's addressed it, we've seen in the behaviours surrounding the analysis of the red carpet that there's no change in her behaviours. We saw the reaction just before the slap, that there's no change in her behaviours. And this belief that she's undertaken some form of emotional immaturity addressing course, and that she's dealt with her insecurities, and that she's engaged in some really deep healing, is all complete nonsense. She truly believes it. She doesn't sit there thinking, I know I'm spouting a load of bullcrap here, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to say it anyway. She truly believes it because her narcissism compels her to believe it to make it look convincing. I will continue with further analysis as we work our way through the Red Table Talk with more revelations demonstrating yet again what she is in pin-sharp crikey vision. Join me in part 4.